I really want this, but I want it at a really good discount price, and as Toys R Us discounting gets stronger and stronger as the weeks go on, I'm going to try and hide this away in the store where nobody else can find it, hey? What about in here? Yes, and I'll come back and hopefully get it when it's at the right price. Right, before we get going on this video, and because the subscriber feed on this site is busted, I'm going to remind you of a video I posted recently on my channel. It's a story about one of my main viral videos, Big Spider Attacks Daddy, and how it has been double demonetized by the amazing YouTube systems. Anybody who watches this video will be amazed in the way the YouTube systems seem to be failing. Or is this the way they work? I seem to have a string of double demonetized and also double flagged videos, and I'm starting to realize I can never win in this battle, but I'm starting to fight back. And if you do watch this video, you'll see the secrets of how Big Spider Attacks Daddy was made, and for the fact that my daughter wasn't part of the actual video, even though many people will swear that she is. And sadly, from what I can see going on, YouTube is turning into one giant train wreck. Okay, let's get on with the video. Okay, my Toys R Us, it is the last days of this sale, and the Lego aisle here has been annihilated. When it triggered off to a certain percentage off, well, this is what happened. There are stacks and stacks of people here, so I've got to be really careful. I'm seeing lots of bits of empty shelving now. Yeah, look at that there. It's starting to move. What this sale's pointing out to me is what moves and what doesn't move when certain price points get triggered. And I'm in this area here, and look here, there's actually a little bit of Thomas Glory here. Look at that, it's a shovel wagon. Yeah, it's very much the sort of merchandise that, if you're a Thomas fan, you're going to be right into. More and more empty shelving, lots of it. Sometimes there are little gems that you can find, and maybe things that people have tried to hide away. Ooh, I wonder if that's the case of that there, eh? Ooh, yeah, maybe so. This is the Nerf area, 30% off, and I'm telling you that the other day when it was only 20% off, this whole area was basically full. Mind you, the pegs started to erode away, and yeah, the pegs are looking pretty empty. It reminds me of the Thomas & Friends aisles from when I used to see in other stores. Look at this here, there's your classic example. Someone's got into that. They've stolen some bits and pieces out of it. It's got like a new lower price. I mean, that's basically a giveaway, isn't it? Hey, well, that's the way I see it. I better repeg it and be a good boy. This is sort of organised chaos. There are just toys on the floor, things laying about everywhere. A bit of Thomas love here, actually. Oh yeah, oh. Just avoiding people. Look at this little bit of Thomas love. This sort of had a kooky face. Never quite like that version versus the other one with the nice face that I can't quite find. And thinking of the other one, which I think is a far, far nicer toy. This is the one you want. This is a great toy. Spoke about this in the other discount video. There are a few of these here still. Man, that's the 30% off. That's a great buy, I can tell you, yeah. There's a few more there. Actually, there's quite a few. There's more down there. I'll be honest here, but for what I've seen, that's really a great pick at the price at 30% off. Fantastic little item. This is like the truck zone here. It's looking fairly random. This is a toy I actually looked at, but what I worked out was little boats basically only lasted, well, 1 year. Mind you, we did put them in the pool. Yes, that's what it's looking like here. Lots and lots of empty shelving. That looks pretty cool, doesn't it, hey? Yes, I think the spies would love that as well. It's often the things that I see still sitting on the pegs tells me a story much more than the things that have totally disappeared. All this Halo stuff here is still sitting on the pegs. There are stacks and stacks of it. So yeah, not so popular, eh? Lots of random kids in here, I tell you, tons of them. Look at that one there. Oh, what a naughty girl. Actually, who's behind these? It's Hot Wheels, so yeah, that'd be Mattel, wouldn't it? Yes, a real peg sitter, if ever there was one. Look at that there. Just think about Hot Wheels, yeah, it's one of these sort of things. There's like so much of this stuff here. It was always a little bit overpriced at Toys R Us, because what I did notice was the Hot Wheels prices in Australia had basically radically come down. So there's lots and lots of Hot Wheels here, but I think you really want to see like 50% off before really a lot of this stock is going to go, because lots of this stuff is actually in a shop called the Retail Shop. I mean, look at this down here. I love this. I love this. It's like a piece of art. There's just stacks and stacks of stuff that's fallen off the pegs, and it looks fantastic. And there are these random children that are just coming up and wanting to get into the toys, yeah. In the educational science department, you know, you've got toys like this. Look, I've had a toy like this. I think it's very similar to the one I looked at. I think it spins the wrong way. I don't know. There's aspects of this that I really liked, aspects of it that I didn't, but mind you, it's still sitting here, so yeah, maybe that's saying something. And I'm seeing, I think, more hidden booty. When people do this, they're hiding stuff away and they're coming back another day to get it at a lower price. It's still here. I better do the right thing and cover it back up. This is a Disney sort of area here. Look at this thing here. This looks fantastic. It's like Beauty and the Beast. Just stunning. I like that. I want that at a really good price, and it's looking a little bit smashed up in this area here as well. Mind you, there is also a lot of stock here. Yes, lots more to move here. There's still some of Barbie's jetliners here. I've got one of these toys I picked up at a garage sale. I think I got $20 for this. It's quite an exotic toy. That's its price there. So at 30% off, what does that bring it down to? Yeah, I think it needs to come down a lot more. Yes, seeing these still here, maybe paints a picture of us about, well, Barbie's luxurious jetliner. I'm seeing lots of Imaginarium stuff here, but I'm also seeing like bits of random playsets, and there's a Thomas thing hidden behind this. Once again, I wonder if it was like hidden booty for someone to find when the price gets lower. Better rehide it, hey? Oh, we all like these sorts of guns, don't we? And super soakers and stuff. I think, well, it's winter time here in Australia, so people aren't thinking about those toys. Oh, crikeys, it's another one of these Thomases. These things are the plague of the store, they're everywhere. I'm having to move really fast. There are people looking at me thinking I'm a goose. You can see what these toys are. They're not moving. Ooh, what is that saying to us, eh? And coming around here to the Disney cars area, there's stuff on the floor. There are still lots of stuff here on the pegs. Mind you, lots has gone since it was 20% off, okay? Yes, if you remember back to the other video, there was actually a lot more in this area here. There's also a lot of the stock here that was covered in dust. And I showed that in the other video going along here. Okay, you can see what's here and what's not here. I don't need to explain everything to you. Oh, Sarge's surplus hearts. Oh, you remember these? How many of these are still here? Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. I can't believe this. 5, 6 of these toys are still here. So, wow, I might be getting this. Like, I always thought if this drops down to, let's say, I don't know, 50 bucks, 20 bucks, 10 bucks, I think it'd be a fantastic thing to get. And this is the one here which had the loose Sarge, and it's still here. Look at that there, okay? Sarge in there, the rock and roll Sarge. I think half the fun's just doing that, and it's going to be very curious to see what discount will trigger off the sale of these quite miraculous toys, even though they are still totally dust covered. Now, it was just here that I hit a toy that I was hoping to get at a lower price. Oh, darn it. I hit it here. It was a wooden railway track set, and it looks like someone has snaffled my booty there, and they've taken off of the prize. Oh, I feel like a total loser now. Yeah, so like I say, what doesn't sell starts to paint a bit of a picture to me. As you can see here, we've got Despicable Me toys. It's a sort of thing that I think they're always a little bit overpriced for what they were. They're sort of real peg sitters, dust collectors. Here is Drew's car here. It's covered in dust, as you can see. True sign that it's well, it's going to be a peg sitter for the bulk of its life. This whole area here used to be Transformers and Voltron and that sort of stuff, and I'm noticing, yes, a lot of the Transformers stuff is here. A lot of the dinky little stuff is still here. I mean, it's sort of the stuff you may not want to touch. I think people will be looking for the Voltron stuff. It's very popular, but I know there was a lot of Transformers toys here before, but man, oh man, a lot of them have gone. Yes, what's left sitting here paints a big picture for me, and when I come up here to these sorts of toys, yeah, they've been sitting here, they're not selling, and it does, well, I think speak a very big story about this style of toy. Another toy that's not moving, even though it's starting to be heavily discounted, these styles of toys. I think the iPad generation is blowing this sort of toy apart. Not surprised to see them still sitting here. More toys that will probably need a discounting of, let's say, I don't know, up to 50% off, 60% off. Hey, it's not moving, they're still sitting here. But boy, oh boy, I just still can't get over how that Lego aisle's cleared out. That 30% reduction has just basically blown it all away. Mind you, in the area here, it's saying it was 25% off. I'm looking at the Imaginarium here. That's ToysRUs' brand of toy trains and things. There is lots and lots of stock here. I can't see that much of this has really moved, to be honest, and I saw this at the 20% off time, and you can see what's on the shelves there. I don't need to explain everything to you. It still basically looks like it's all there. With ToysRUs closing in Australia, the sign of dust on the top of the toy boxes is a very ominous sign. There's dust on the stock here. and that's telling me it's been a sitter here for some time. I think it's going to need like a really heavy reduction, you know, up to 50% off for this stuff to move. Okay, the Thomas area is 30% off, and I'll just go over the things you can see here. You know all about that playset, don't we? I certainly do. It was one that I wasn't impressed with. A bit of Thomas Minis thing. Look, I didn't mind that playset. We've still got it at home. That one there is okay. There's a few of these still here. It has one of those Demon Thomases in there, which is sort of funky. There's a bit of a toy imposter here. I'm still in the Thomas area here, and I'm just going over this shelf here. You can see what's here. There are, well, that's it. That playset there, Trackmaster 2 set. I'm surprised ones like this are still here. I thought that was okay. There's actually 1, 2, 3, and 4 of that set there. Yes, it's got this sort of great feature here, but it's also got enough conventional track that made me happy. With Trackmaster 2, it's what you see on the side of the box here that really paints a picture of the value of what's in the box, I feel. I'm having a lot of trouble getting a full shot of the aisle here because there's a lot of people here, but you can see what's going on there. There's actually a lot of the stock is gone, a lot of the smaller stuff is gone. Mind you, there was that lovely Tidmouth Sheds, wasn't there? Wooden Railway has gone. Yeah, anything like Thomas Wooden Railway has blown away. We're not surprised because that's the good stuff. Another one of those, a Thomas toy like this, and you know, I do those videos about toys stolen in store. Here's a classic example. Someone's come along and thought, well, I want that Thomas there, so it makes the rest of that playset sort of useless. I mean, I'm sick of seeing that. Things like that, I'm not into those sorts of toys at all. A couple of them still sitting here. I mean, you need a much bigger discount really before you start touching that. Down the bottom here, a Trackmaster set here. I've got this, but I never reviewed it. You can probably have your say about that one. Ones like that, I just really wouldn't touch between you, me, and the lamppost. And a playset like that, I've got this one, haven't reviewed it, but I think it's okay because, well, we're blowing stuff up. Yeah, 30% off. It might be alright to get this one. It's also got the mud covered, or some people might say looks like blood covered Thomas there, which is pretty cool. It's a shame it hasn't got a custom face. There's merchandise like this. I call it merchandise, or can you call it a Thomas? Yeah, they have been sitting around through the sale period all the time. It needs to probably go much lower before they move. But the real sadness for me is about to come up on screen, and the thing that I wanted, the one thing I wanted out of this sale, looks like it's gone. Okay, it was on the end of the aisle here. The Thomas face that looks so beautiful and so Thomasy has been replaced with some shelving here. And it looks like I've missed out, and the only thing that's really left of what was going on there is that there. The puffer steam that was coming out of the Thomas is the only thing I can see left here, and it's making me feel really, really sad. I'm feeling as sad as my son there. Look at him. The Thomas is gone, the Thomas is gone. Well, here's another aisle full of toys. There's some things here that I could never speak about on YouTube, and it's because of this. Mind you, they're still sitting on the pegs here. That's actually a fun toy, and it's weird. I think fun and weird is a very good thing in the toy industry. A bit of Roblox stuff here. That's a nice toy. I like the people version of that more like this. What are they? Stick bots? My son loves those. Very curiously, a lot of these toys here haven't sold. You may get a shock by seeing this. You may not get a shock coming along here, and I'm not surprised by this. It's actually, well, a film that I know, the original one, I know a lot about, and coming along here, and this is the one which I'm thinking, in no way am I surprised to see these didn't sell. It just looks ridiculous. Alpha 5 from the redone Power Rangers movie just looks totally wrong. Whoever came in and designed this had lost the plot. And actually, if I'm sneaky here, I can give you a photograph of me and the, let's say the real Alpha 5, because there was a time when we worked together, but that's a story for another day, hey? Yes, there are incredible things that I've done in the past, and, well, this isn't one of them. I've just got to run. The mall cop just spotted me. I've got to get out of here quick. Okay, we will jump to the 6th final day of this closing down sale. It starts to get a bit messy, and I tell you what, I am cheesed off that I missed out on that wondrous end display that was on the Thomas & Friends aisle. I loved that Thomas face. Okay, this is the last 6 days of this closing down sale, ToysRUs Australia. I had to do the bolt on the 9th day of the closing down sale. The mall cop spotted me. He knows me quite well, and what I'm looking at here is a whole stack, a whole aisle of the Imaginarium large wooden railway set, which I dare say is fantastic, but these are sort of appeared up the back of the store. Well, the discount is going to have to go much lower before they're gone. Okay, here's the cars aisle here. You can just see what's there. Just had a chat to the staffer I know here, and she's a lovely girl. She told me that they've been doing about $30,000 worth of trade a day. Okay, so that's actually, I think that's quite miraculous. Although I am seeing here, yes, some stuff has moved, but there's still a lot of the cars stuff here. I think the cars stock was really oversaturated in Australia from what I could see. And the largest surplus huts are still 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. To me, at 30% off, I think things like this start to become good value. That's in my mind. I was also told a lot of this stock is going to be transferred out in the next couple of days, so whatever happens from here on is going to be quite fudgy. The staffer I know detailed to me how the Lego stock was sold, and I am astonished by this. And she said when it hit that 25% mark off, the staff just went out the doors, and she felt there was people who were basically like eBay sellers and all were grabbing this stock. That's the value of Lego, I tell you. It really was an eye-opener for me to see this. Oh yes, may the fast be with you. A lot of the Star Wars toys are still here. I think it's also another toy which was very heavily saturated in a lot of the department stores. And to no surprise, there is just actually quite a lot of Star Wars stock here. This aisle is looking a little bit too fat for my liking. This is the Hot Wheels section, and sort of in no surprise, these playsets aren't moving. What's it telling me about Hot Wheels, or maybe what's it telling me about the discount price? The pegs here, it doesn't look that different to the other day I had a look here, I'll be honest here. What do you think? It'll be earlier in the video. To me it looks sort of the same. Maybe there's a few more on the pegs, but the massive Hot Wheels cars down the bottom there, yeah, as epic as ever. If you're smart, you did some digging here. Wow, you could come up with some Hot Wheels gold. What do you think of that, eh? Yeah, there's actually quite a few of these. Is that worth getting? Or is that just something that they've turned into a gold car so they could flog it easier? As I keep saying, what's sold and what hasn't sold paints me a very interesting picture. And what was on here was all like construction toys, trucks and things. And there is sort of one of the toys left here. Yeah, so it's like the lucky last of that style of toy. Up the back of the store, there was also a whole bunch more trucks and things. I think it was more the ToysRUs toys. Nonetheless, they're all gone. Along here was the Nerf toys, gun toys and things. Yeah, so the other day there was a few things left there, but it's all been cleared out now. Oh, one of my favourite toys, I think one of the better toys you can get your children, but it's the female version of the toy, which is still here. There's still plenty of the girl version of Little Tikes cars and trucks. So what that's telling me is you basically come along and you buy your male version of this toy, because the boys and the girls, they like their red Little Tikes car. And I think it was one of these things that I tripped over on my escape last time the mall cops were chasing me. And if you're wondering, well, those toys are still there. Are we surprised by this or not surprised? Yes, well, maybe you can tell me why they're not selling, because, well, I don't fully understand why. Yes, the more I look around, there's a lot of Star Wars toys here on the end of aisles and things, so yes, it's paint me a picture. Well, I can see my wrestling friends, they're struggling to sell as well. They'll have to be much more discounted before they're coming off the pegs. The new version of Alpha 5, well, these are all still here, and we know why. These haven't moved, don't we, boys and girls? In another part of the store, I found more versions of that female Princess Cozy Coupe. So yes, the girl version of it isn't a hot seller versus the boy version of this toy. And here's something I didn't know, and if I crawl along here, look at this here. Made in the USA, yeah, that's nice to see. Okay, this is the last bit we're going to take a look at. Last time I'm going to come into the store and check out what's going on, because I think we've painted the picture of what is going to happen here. Thomas Trackmaster sets, you know, I really think at 30% off, that's great value. A few of these still hanging about. Trackmaster sets that you may want to avoid, like that one there. Yeah, you can have your say about these sets, you know. As standalone sets, they're good. You know, there's some interesting components in them, I dare say. A lot of empty pegs and shelves going on here now. That toy is still here, the one which is sadly missing the Thomas the Tank, which would have been spectacular. A couple of sets here laying on the edge, a bit of damaged boxing and all going on there, a little bit of damaged boxing. This set here is still here. Yeah, more Trackmaster sets like that one there. Down on the bottom aisle, there's those sets there. You can see what's here. There's not much left of it now. Yes, a couple of things like that, okay. And there's another one of those sets there. At 30% off, I think it's a pretty good deal. A couple of playmats here, but really the bulk of what's left behind is Trackmaster 2 sets, which sort of has surprised me a little bit, but not surprised me as well. And again, this playset is still here. And that's what the whole Thomas stock looks like near the end of the sale. As for the other side, which is the Imaginarium toys, the Toys R Us toy trains, well, I can report to you this, and it's a very simple thing to report, is that what I can see here is this stuff really isn't selling. I think the discounting on this is going to have to go way, way low before we see this walking out the store. Okay, I've just had the mall cop spot me at the Thomas zone. I've got to find a spot here to hide. Maybe hide behind these guys or something. Oh, I don't know. If I double back that way, maybe it's clear. Yeah, so just finding an escape route. It was over the back of the store there. Oh, I don't know. Thanks to the staffer who I knew here at this store, though the store wasn't here that long. There's the exit over there. I used to love coming here. Maybe I can get in this. Oh, no. Okay, maybe I'll come this way. Yeah, I used to come here a lot, and I used to get a lot of toys that you couldn't find anywhere else. I'm going to miss this store, miss Toys R Us. Fantastic place, and again, thanks to the staffer who helped me out here many, many times. And I'm out. Whew. More cops back there somewhere. Scootled past them once again. Up the end here, let's be reminded of how this store looked when it opened up, and it was only back in November 2016, so it closed up shop in July 2018, so that's a year and a half. I hope I have my maths correct there. And what I do when I frequent a shop is I get to know some staff, and I usually pick off one staff person. I'm pretty good at choosing the right sort of person. I can just tell from a few chats if this person's going to be helpful to me in the future. And sure enough, the girl I got to know in this Toys R Us, she was wondrous. She looked like Joan Jett, but a younger version of Joan Jett. And that was our little joke together. We used to have a bit of a giggle about that. I dare say she thought I was a weirdo, but she was very helpful in telling me how the store worked, where the stock was coming from, and how they manage these stores. And even in the closing down sale, she was telling me the dates and times when the discounting was going to happen. And for the fact that this store, from this point on, starts to bleed away stock to other stores, well, I think I don't need to go back there and see any more because I'm not seeing the picture that I want to show in these videos. This Toys R Us was really only a boutique store. It wasn't like the biggest stores that you see in the west of Sydney, which I thought were fantastic, but they were a long way for me to go to have shopping experiences there. What this fire sale of toys has showed us is the toy which is held with the most regard is Lego. That's the one which cleared off the shelves at the lowest amount of discounting, and that was astonishing to see, but then again, some people would not be surprised by that. The toys that were sitting there and not selling were a lot of the toys associated with films, a lot of the toys that are car toys, and I'm thinking of Hot Wheels and also the Disney Cars 3 toys, and also a lot of the generic toys that are sort of associated back to Toys R Us. But then again, they may have had warehouses full of this stuff, but I do feel it paints a picture of why this toy company's collapsed. What I feel has done a lot of damage to Toys R Us is the fact that children of today tend to play on iPads, their mum's mobile phone. They're not playing with real physical toys like children from a couple of generations ago. Now, I classify children's generations as every 5 years. We're sort of into the second generation of children who have disconnected from real toys. The year 2010 is a very important year to get your head around. Many people called it the iPad Christmas. If you're a YouTuber, you would have seen your mobile device views skyrocket from that point on. It's a time when children started to use screens to watch gamers, and they were like spectators watching gamers play, but they were also sitting there watching people play with toys, and it was like they were having the experience of playing with the toy themselves. I witnessed this with my own children. I used to say to them, "Do you want that toy, do you?" And they said, no, we're just happy to watch someone play with this toy. You don't need to buy it. And I just thought, wow, that's sort of mind-blowing. And I thought, wow, look at the money I've saved. If they're prepared to sit there, watch someone playing with a toy or watch someone playing with a game, I didn't have to buy it. I thought, wow, that's saving me a whole bunch of dough. And when I watched this, I thought, well, one day the toy companies and the people that produce games are going to key into this, and they're basically going to take the monetization away from videos of people showing toys on YouTube or playing games. I dare say that is just around the corner, and that'd be a very, very hot topic to talk about. I better leave this video here. Maybe you've got something to say about that iPad generation, the 2010 onwards. That's when all this nonsense really started to kick in.